camera moments. My name is Siddharth, and in this vlog, I will take you to Sattal, where I went in April this year for bird watching and photography. Ideally, the best time to visit Uttarakhand for birding is between October and June. But particularly, bird watchers and photographers should plan their trip between December and January when the bird activity is excellent, or possibly around between April and May when most of the birds display their breeding plumage. During April and May, the weather is clear and sunny, and it's considered as the best time for bird watching. The clear weather with no rain allows you to see the furthest distance and provide birds with greatest feeding conditions. April is also the starting of mating and breeding season amongst birds, and so I decided to visit Sattal at the end of April for some wildlife photography. I stay in Greater Noida, so I took the Eastern Peripheral Expressway, which further connected me to the National Highway 9 to Rudrapur Haldwani Road. And then I took the National Highway 109 to Bhawali Bhimtal Haldwani Road to reach Surigao, where I pre-booked my stay at Sattal Forest Resort. Now if I talk about the journey to reach Sattal, I started early morning at 8 AM from Greater Noida, and by 1 PM I was on the Haldwani Bhimtal Road, but had to slow down later due to some traffic. In the hills, the traffic system is quite uncertain at times due to narrow roads and unknown number of vehicles coming downhill. Or if there is any landslide or an accident, then it takes hours before you can move. Fortunately, that day it was just the routine traffic where tourist and commercial vehicles were coming downhill, and many like me were going towards Sattal, which somehow created some bottlenecks and increased my travel time overall. This narrow spiral road going uphill, surrounded by trees and beautiful valleys, accompanied me to my destination. The location of the resort is surrounded by small villages that made the stay more enriching. Next day, very early in morning, my naturalist Mohit Joshi arrived at the resort, and we left for bird watching and reached the roadsides in Bhimtal just at the sunrise. During this early morning walk, I saw the Himalayan black bulbul for the very first time, black-throated bush-tit, and the Indian paradise flycatcher. I also managed to take some photographs of these beautiful birds and continued my walk, hoping to see some more bird species. The walk was in itself a pleasing experience and informative as I was keenly listening to the facts which my naturalist kept sharing during the nature walk. And me and my wife also witnessed the rising sun during this walk and were very appreciative about the experience all the time. Photography continued, and the experience so far was very involving and exciting. For so many months, I wanted to come to Sattal for this experience, and when finally I was here, it felt so surreal. And all this action, what you see on screen, is to photograph the black bulbul. And I was very excited and thrilled in doing so because it was the first time I sighted this bird. After photographing these beautiful birds, I managed to take some time out and sat down on a road fencing block to feel the peace in that place. And after a little over an hour, I went to the Satal Christian Ashram Hide, and on my way there, we stopped somewhere in midway along the roadside just to check if we get lucky and see the brownwood owl, and guess what? The owl was up high in the tree, sitting on a branch, and I could clearly see it. Due to less light around the owl, which is expected and obvious, I still managed to photograph a few shots, to document my first ever sighting of this beautiful owl species. And you look at my happy face. I got some good images of the brown wood owl. By the time I reached Sattal Ashram Hide, sunlight started peeping through the dense forest around it, but still the lighting condition at the hide was not good enough to get amazing shots. But later, in an hour of time, it got decent. I saw several birds at the hide feeding on fruit and seeds. Plum and slaty-headed parakeets topped the list, followed by white-throated laughing thrush, red-billed blue magpie, red-billed leothrix, black-headed jay, greater yellow-nape woodpecker, russet sparrow, oriental turtle dove, blue-throated flycatcher, Himalayan bulbul, rufous-chinned laughing thrush, wood-eater flycatcher, rufous-throated partridge, College peasant, and many others. And that's the water point at the Christian ashram hide where all the birds gather to drink water. Hide photography looks easy, but it's not actually that simple. The biggest element of distraction is the number of bird species that you get to see, and so the fear of missing out a good photographic opportunity is quite high. Also, it doesn't let you focus well if you are concentrating on a single perch in an anticipation to see a specific bird variant. Then it's highly possible that you would miss seeing many other birds around you, and some possibly could be a lifer for many of us. The second area of difficulty is to keep playing with the focal length, because these birds are not just at one place and they keep changing their positions, and so it impacts the distance to subject pretty frequently. This was my first experience at a hide, and I figured out that you would need to know the camera equipment really well to get good content, and if you spend more time in changing settings back and forth, then possibly you can miss some action around. In a hide, one can certainly use a tripod if you are more into videos. But if you are focusing only to take photographs and you don't want to carry a tripod, then a camera beanbag would solve the purpose. However, I would still recommend everyone to carry a good tripod and mount the camera setup on it so you can easily play with the shutter speed and introduce less noise in images and videos. My recommendation to all my fellow photographer friends is to carry ample amount of memory cards to ensure you're not missing a good photographic moment. Although chairs to sit inside the hide are mostly solving the requirement, but sometimes the cushioning and the height could become challenging and you may end up with shoulder or lower back pain. And so to keep your posture good, you can consider carrying a memory foam cushion of 2 to 4 inches of thickness for better posture and traction. Keeping all these factors aside, the chirping of birds all around this place acts therapeutic and feels like meditation. Okay, I would not talk more now and will let you enjoy the images and some small video clips of various birds from the place. I heard a lot about the Sattal Studio Point, and so how could I have missed going out there? I went along with my naturalist twice to the place during my stay at Sattal. I must say that the place is truly effective. It has so much of nature all around, and the water stream flowing through the place attract a lot of birds. The path to reach the actual studio point is in itself beautiful, and you can easily see a lot of birds and photograph from a safe distance. I deliberately slowed down and enjoyed the short walk to the studio point. Now, talking about the studio point, which is indeed a good location to patiently sit down at a distance and take photos and videos of birds in their natural habitat. It is also a great place to observe and understand bird behavior. The serene ambience and photographic opportunities attract a lot of bird watchers and mostly photographers who sit for hours to get the desired composition and practice photography amidst nature. Just a tip to all have knee and back pain issues that they should consider carrying a small camping portable chair and then mount the tripod accordingly. Though I was carrying it, but rather sat on my bean bag and laid on a large piece of stone with my camera setup mounted on the tripod, but had to regret later. You must keep in mind to carry water because the area is open and you will be exposed under sun while sitting there for hours. Preferably, only wear natural color clothing and avoid wearing bright color clothes. It's always better if your phone is in flight mode and stay silent as much as you can, because these factors are critical to make your birdwatching experience joyful and memorable. So, the birds I saw at the studio point were Indian paradise flycatcher, male and female, red-billed leothrix, white-crested laughing thrush, black-headed jay, verdito flycatcher, Khalij pheasant, emerald dove, and red jungle fowl. Just not birds. I could also see a few barking deers roaming around the place and drinking water at the stream where it gets wider. And in this clip, you can see one of those barking deers grazing in the field after it drank water. And you will soon see a image where I could successfully capture the reflection of the barking deer falling in water. My next destination was Chafi after I spent some good time at the studio point. Chafi is a place near Bhimtal and is famously known for its crested kingfisher sightings. I honestly cannot call it a grand place, but some birds adapt a particular habitat and stay there for a while, and so it seems the fact of this place too. Chafi used to be a good place, like I heard, and now urbanization has sort of acquired the area, which is impacting the habitat largely. This place is well known for its rustic farms and its benefits from a moderate climate and a spring-fed river as the water source. The surrounding hills are dense with forest, and the area is well known for many rare birds. Crested kingfisher is generally spotted on the rocks and boulders hunting for prey in the crystal clear water that flows by. I also spotted the white-capped water redstart and grey wagtail during my short visit to Chafi. I hope you enjoyed watching this video.